I don't know what's going on. It seems like more and more these guys are sprouting up just about everywhere. And people don't seem to be doing anything about it. That's why I respect you so much, man, because you're one of the few that's outspoken about it. What's been going on with you, though, Poppy, man? How have you been holding up throughout this?
Well, I mean, it hasn't been easy. The situation has forced me to be strong, even though you have your times of being depressed. I mean, I've got drunk one day recently and really, really broke down. Like, it's just, and it's not so much that, just what I went through in the past is the beefs that I have, the enemies that I have now. I actually love some of these brothers, but there's no turning back. So it's like I got caught up in a little emotional state where I really broke down. And people don't need it's like, it's a lot of, it's not just one or two, it's a lot of brothers that I would never be friends with again. Behind the situation, because it's just how they handled the situation. Not only how they handled the situation, but then for me to have one of my closest friends, TC Izlam, he was murdered recently too, and me personally, I believe and feel like Zulu Nation was behind that. And people might say, that's snitching. No, it's not. We're dealing with a pedophile here, the pedophile ring. Anything goes when you're dealing with pedophiles. You do anything to take down the pedophile ring. But it's like I said, and I tell people all the time, if I wanted to put Bam in jail for passion, I could put Bam in jail for probably the rest of his life. I can do that. There's no statute of limitation on certain shit. I tell people all the time, with me, I did my time. So I'll leave it as that. He understands that too. And that's the bottom line to that. This was never about me, me having something personal with Bam other than him being a goddamn pedophile. And that's the bottom line to it. If I wanted Bam going right now, I can walk right into the DEA office and say, listen, this is what happened on such and such day on such and such time, and I already served my time for it. And that's the bottom line. I can't get no clearer than that. I'm not a rat. But when it comes to pedophilia, we're going to deal with the situation.
Yeah, that's something totally different. It involves the safety of children. And I want to go back a little bit. You just said TC Izlam, rest in peace. There was an interview with him just a few weeks before he was killed. And in that interview, he said if this was in the 90s, he's like, I would have come forward in the 90s, but I would have been killed right away, I believe. And then after this interview, a few weeks later, he gets killed. You know what I'm saying? And you think there is that connection with the Zulus? Because he was one of the few outspoken ones.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I spoke to him the night before he got murdered. I spoke to him, and pretty much he was crying on the phone. And to be honest with you, I was annoyed with him. I was thinking to myself, shut the fuck up, because I personally was upset with TC because TC knew a whole lot more than what he said, what he was saying. And I've been telling him already, like, to be honest with you, I was curbing him because I was upset with him. And a few times I spoke to him, it really felt like TC was hurting because he really wanted to get back in with Bam, but he knew it was no going back. Bam wasn't happening. And the night that he got on, the night before he got murdered, I was on the phone with him. I was talking to him, and he was like, he told Ahmed as Bam's manager, he was like, listen, tell Bam got 3 days to get back at me. If Bam don't contact me in 3 days, I'm telling everything. So when he said that to me once again, he pissed me off. Like, first and foremost, you should have been said everything to let the cat out the bag.
Yeah.
Then he started going in. I'm like, so TC, what's some of the everything? Let me know some of the everything. And he was like, yeah, I tell the Bam was fucking Mos Def and he was fucking Q-Tip. I'm like, well, that's not surprising. To be honest, that's not something that I saw for myself. But this is what TC Izlam said that he knew, and there's a whole lot more. Then he started talking about other things that I wouldn't really get into because it pertains to like street stuff or whatever. I'm never going to put Bam up under the gun for street things that was done because the code is the code. But when it's dealing with pedophilia, it's an all-out door on his ass.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something way totally different, obviously. And wow, so he died with a lot of information, because he probably knew Bam for, 30, 40 years maybe.
He got murdered the next day. He got shot. He got murdered the next day. He got shot in the heart and he got shot in his eye. It's executions. See, the Zulus immediately what they started telling people was he got murdered in a robbery. Like, first and foremost, how you putting out rumors of why he got dead or how he got killed and none of y'all down there? Because he was around Zulus down there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'd be so quick to throw out theories if you, exactly. Yeah, that makes it that. Yeah, you know what? I tell you what. I hear stuff like that, and I think, man, Poppy, be careful. Be careful, man. I mean, real talk. I mean, because I know you're a real dude. You know what I'm saying? You're a real motherfucker. Ain't no doubt in that. But the same token, these guys, they're pretty much everywhere, are they not?
Let me tell you something, man. I wish a nigga would. Like, it's not. I'm not TC. TC was playing. Yeah. TC was playing games. You see what I'm saying? He was playing games. Number one. Number two, he was bouncing from state to state, and he said it. He was in fear from his life. He was getting death threats. But see, that shit that they pulled on him is not. I'm not gonna sit up there and tell you I'm getting death threats because first and foremost, the motherfuckers know if they sit up there and they threaten me, I'm going to start plucking them off one by one. I don't give a fuck if the Fed is listening to me. That's when you're going to make me do what I got to do. I don't have a problem with sleeping in jail for the rest of my life, defending myself and fighting for a cause and fighting a pedophile. I have no problem with that. I'll be eating them nasty-ass sandwiches until the day I die. So as far as them making a threats, nigga, do you. Make your move. Understand something. I fight back. You know what I mean? And I fight back on all levels. So, and they understand that. And that's about it. Right. Another thing, too, is the boys that killed TC, that boy that killed TC, that was a young boy. They do what they've been doing since the early fucking 90s, getting little boys like me in the early 90s to do their fucking dirty work. That's what they do. But these old-ass, washed-up niggas, they ain't got them. They ain't got another 10 years in them. These dudes up here that I'm beefing with, they ain't going to do it themselves. They're going to try to send somebody to do it. They ain't going to do it themselves because they know when I see them coming, it's automatically on. What you think? You going to walk up to me and just give me 5?
Right.
As soon as I see you, you're going to get ready and get stance and I'm going to get in mine. And we're going to take it from there. That's just how it goes down. I'm not no sucker. Bam knows that. And you can tell that I'm not a sucker by the way Bam is moving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he's not addressing anything. He's just...
Bam is, you know what it is, too, that you got to understand about Bam? Bam is calculated. Bam ain't all the way a fool. Bam knows that behind something with me and Ron Savage, something so big, if his timing is the wrong timing, he'll mess around and he'll spark some type of RICO law. The Zulu Nation and the Black Spades has never went down under the RICO law for gang activities. So Bam knows he has to be very, very careful. Even though, to be honest with you, the Feds ain't never came around not one time and said, yo, what's going on with him touching these little boys? So when they say it's COINTELPRO, it's like, where the fuck at? If the Feds started shaking some trees, they going to find little boys.
Right.
Everybody else is finding them. You can't even talk to a person in the Bronx that's not coming across somebody that's been molested by Bam.
Fucking crazy.
And what's crazy is the information is out there, and they're just letting dude just run around and do what he does, like nothing's ever happened. That's
this
disgusting.
Shit is crazy because when you sit, now he got the Zulu anniversary coming up in November, 3 days of the anniversary, and you got nerve enough to have one of them Masonic lounges. It's supposed to be having it in a building. Like, how y'all have a pedophile in your building?